Hello, welcome back to real-time watercolor painting orange onion and cloth. I thought it was going pretty dismal yesterday, but I thought, why not work one more day on it? What could go wrong? The orange does not look very orange. Seems too red. The thing doesn't look that round either. I'm gonna put the thing up here. I'm gonna try to get some highlights right here just to make it look more round. Since this was mostly painted yesterday, I'm not sure how good our highlights are going to be. Oh, that's pretty good. I think it's looking more round thanks to these highlights. Color is way off. I'm going to try adding a yellow layer on top just to see if I can bend this red into an orange look. I don't know if that's really going to work. That looks a little bit orange.
Listen, today are you going to?
I'm trying to do live right this second.
Well, it's too hard, because this.
Well, it is trying to look a little more round. That's a plus. I don't know if it's really looking orange. this is a highlight, so I don't know why I'm doing this line here. Try to blend that a little bit. Okay, try to reinforce the shadow beneath. I'm going to get a Payne's gray leaning hard into blue and go right here. And this is probably damp, so I got to be careful with that. There's I'm going to turn off the overhead light because this is really more the lighting we are hoping for. So since this is damp, this paint is bleeding up in a bad way. Anyway, we're trying to get a more reinforced shadow here. We want the back of the shadow to be bluish, and then the front of the shadow we want to be leaning into a warm color, so this is a warm color here. This way the shadow seems to be, closer to the viewer here and farther away there. Here I just want to sort of blend it around just so it's not a hard edge. I'm going to go lean heavy into blue for this rear area just because it's supposed to be farther away. As I was saying in the other chapter of this real-time watercolor painting, I wish I would have considered this tight area right here a lot harder, more consideration of what's going to be possible and what's going to look good, because that complication back there is not really, when you set up a still life, you want to think, wow, can I paint that, successfully? If I get that exact, will it look good? So I got a nice red gray here, so it's a Payne's gray leaning into red, and that's what we need for up front, the front of the shadow. So just celebrating that by painting it in both these places. This edge is horrible. See if I can fix that. It's a little better. This little thing here, we can fix that later, but at least we got rid of that rough looking thing. I'm going very strong red gray for right here. That looks good. This area right here, I believe, looks fantastic. I'm glad that's there. There's always a highlight in shadow, or generally is, so that's why I'm leaving this kind of like that. That looks good. The shadow, this is more or less a made-up shadow at this point, and I see there's also a shadow of this right there. I'm going to see if I can hint at that. Hopefully this will just bleed in there and not be too pronounced. think that looks good. And then let's just connect these two shadows. And start this shadow right here. And then let's try to go in here like we're a solid shadow with a highlight in it. And now let's try to blend this outward. Get a softer end on that shadow. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Now we just got to diffuse out too, so it's not so I'm going to try to lean into the blue. Looking for a subtle blue hint. I don't know if that's very subtle. We'll see later. Just trying to more or less say hi, I'm negative space, but I'm farther away from this negative space. And that really is a good color. I'm going to see about continuing that color over here. And let's see about right here. This is why you might want to tape down your paper, but you know, I'm not really big on all that kind of preparation. Alright, well that's a good fade out. Let's turn back the overhead light. Okay. I don't know what that is. There's some little thing got on there. Okay. Alright, it's not good, not bad. Let me just see about just blot up a little bit right here. That'll blot up. That's much better. Okay. So I guess the orange is progressing. Let's see if we can't do a little more detail on the onion. We got a good start on the onion. So I'm trying to do these ribs you see in there. We don't want to do all the ribs, and they don't have to be complete or even especially line up to where they are supposed to go. But if we start just putting a few in there, then and then right here there's a big highlight. So now I want to lean into see, that's kind of a reddish gold in there. So let's go, without being too literal, let's go a little reddish golden. Plus that's a shadow area there. So I'm going to just see about some lines here. Down here we have a very strong reflection in shadow. And so we have to consider that. And up here, you can barely even make out the rib things, but I'm going to just try to get this, just saying this is the bottom of the shadow area. And I think just a couple in there if we can get it. Okay, and now I'm going to just try to get rid of that here. Okay, so now we're sort of building depth in that area. We still need to get some shades in there. You know, I'm seeing red, gold, beige. you know, it's not an intense red, but anyway, I'm going to exaggerate the red a little bit here. So I'm mixing that this brown we just had, but I just mixed in what's called opera pink, which is kind of a brilliant red. And let's just see if we could just go right here. So that's definitely exaggerated compared to the reference. Here I'm going to start trying to uh, put some detail in this area up there. And this is going to dry light, thank goodness, but you know, the red's coming forward, and we definitely need this whole, you know, portion of the onion to be coming forward way in front of this half mediocre background we have there. Now I want to lean into goldish. Let's just see. And actually, I'm going to turn this light out now because that strong shadow that was right there, I mean, we didn't have that before, and so we don't want it now. Let's see about just some gold there. I don't know if this might be too much. And remove some of that paint, leave a subtle hint of that. It's okay to, I mean, just kind of exaggeration of this color here is fine to have it in there. It's going to dry lighter, but you know, we really need that thing to pop when we get done with it. And you know, if we have nothing but mediocre colors on there, there's no way it's going to pop. So put an exaggerated color, and we got to really hit this shadow here. Um, oh, no, it's me. Thank you very much for that compliment. Barry Boy, thank you so much for stopping by, and thanks for the compliment. Bazim Miziu, thanks very much for the comment. And how do you do this? Well, I got this particular painting. We are up to about probably an hour of real-time watercolor painting, so go check it out, and you'll see how we get to a mess that looks like this. Now we're trying to work on the onion now, and we're trying to build depth and translucence, and I'm gonna go back to this like reddish color here and just see about getting some. That's terrible, but let's see what happens now. We gotta get into a brown. So I'm taking that same reddish color and adding this brown, which is similar to I gotta look up the name of that brown. Anyway, let's just see. Okay, all right, that's good. That's bold. We gotta be bold. We can't be wimpy. Now I'm gonna lean into the orange again for this edge. By having, you know, slightly different colors here, we're, you know, and this I want to get it more brown. I'm gonna do this one that's like a burnt umber. I don't think it's burnt umber, but it's similar to that. And we're gonna get some bold here and just go right there, and a couple here. As we see this, there's a shadow right here. Let's see about that. And that kind of goes up here. And it'd be good if we got a good shadow right there. That's nice. Now I'm gonna remove some of this paint here with a damp brush. And now let's see about putting a highlight right here. There's not really a strong highlight, but there is a weak difference in tone that be good to have here. Go down here slightly. Okay, that's good. This is the strongest highlight we got. It's right here. So let's see about that one. Good. And there's a secondary little highlight action right there. Try to have that in there. Come bring this to the edge. And let's go down here. And now let's get a same color, but lean into a Payne's gray with the same color. And let's just try to start hinting at the, I think that's good. And now we want to get that, but in a more of a brown straw kind of color to, you know, put near it. That way we're not all. And then this right here, this white area, that should be like a very faint yellowish straw color. We'll get that later. Let's see about just putting a couple little things in here. Here we have that red, which exaggerated the, you know, the shadow that's up here, but we really need this to pop, you know, this area up here. So just very sparingly, I'm going to go lean into the blue-gray here. And let's just put a little bit here. And a couple of dots here. Okay, that's not good. I mean, not bad. Okay. And I think is this dry enough? I guess it's dry enough. I'm just going to put a very slight hello on the shadow of that thing. I don't know if that's really good. But anyway, now I'm going to get a damp brush and try to bring this thing to blend in. And that looks pretty good, except up here it does not really look 3D. It looks kind of flat. Remove the inside of that line. I don't like that at all. So let's see if we can. And now let's see about just take out a little bit of this. This is like an extreme highlight right there. So I don't know if you can see it from the angle, but okay. I don't really want to get more into golden. I saw a video, if you want golden, put some green in. And it really does, as far as like gold blonde hair, it really works good. I'm going to try to just get a thing right here. And I'm going to just have a little bit up here. And now I want to see about a highlight right here, even though it's not that dark. And now we definitely got a highlight there. That's good. I think we could also think about a highlight right here. And try and cut into that one hard line that's there. Maybe it's time for a new paper towel. That's definitely a good highlight. Uh, so you can see the red I did there. The red that I said that was exaggerated is completely disappeared. So that's something to that's notable. I'm gonna just take this water I got and sort of do some ribs just with this water. I'm gonna try to hit the go back to the golden grayish thing. Let's see about going right here. And up here, maybe there's a little hint of that. I don't know if that's good or not. I kind of think it's not. But leave some of it there, and there's that highlight here. This, I don't like that edge, so let's just try to sort of blend that hard edge. There is kind of a highlight there. We'll leave this such as it is to, say hello on that highlight. Here's kind of a line that goes up. Try to get that. There's a little piece of onion skin that is protruding there. I don't know if we're going to try that or not, but if we were, this area of white is where it would be going. This looks pretty horrible. I'm going to soften all that now. I guess that's a little better, and how about we just sort of soften this, get a little, that looks much better. And I think we want to take paint off right here for kind of a highlight. Okay, we definitely got a highlight. Okay, that area looks pretty good. I guess the onion is coming along, and I'm gotta run to work. So I guess we have improved a bit. Thanks everybody who stopped by. Much appreciated. Thank you for the 3 likes, and I gotta get out of here.